Right, welcome back to the Start with One series. This is going to be episode number 10. And in this series, we're going to talk about website planning. So, in the first 9 episodes, we focused mostly on um, the tools necessary to actually build the website and do the code. And that's a fun and interesting part. And we will get back to that when we actually need to write some code. But today I'm going to introduce you to sort of the hidden or the unknown parts of web design and web development, really. And especially when you're doing it by yourself, you're going to have to do this part. But that is making a plan, first for the content, and then how to put that content together in a way that makes sense, and in a way that you can code it, in a way that you can connect things together and link them together using href reference tags and things like that. Um, it seems like this is a step out of the way, but I assure you that if you begin to think content first before you even get in and start doing any sort of design or consideration for layout, it will improve your life immensely as a developer or as a web designer. Um, because if you don't know what's going on the page, then you're just sort of, you're too free in order to make what you want to make. You need some constraints so that it narrows down the possibilities, which is going to help you in the long run to be able to be more narrow in the choices that you have to make. And that may seem counterintuitive and not very creative, and you're right. Um, excuse me. Building a website is akin to building a house. There are some creative parts to building a house, especially if you're an architect, but there's also a serious functionality that a house has to be lived in, a house has to be used, a house has to be functional. And if you have an ugly house that's functional, that's better than a beautiful house that doesn't make any sense. So it's not that you don't want beauty. It's not that you don't think about the aesthetic. It's that you need to think about it in conjunction with the functional. I'm not even of the mindset that you need to. It only needs to be functional first, and then you don't need to think about anything else except functionality. I mean, you can build a website very easily that way, but it'll just look generic, and it won't look like something that's branded. It won't look like something that's you might as well, at least for our project, be using Facebook, because that's just some generic profile out there. But what we want is to have something that looks like us, feels like us, um, has our personal imprint and our personal stamp on it. So if your stamp is boring or corporate or whatever you want to put out there for yourself, then you have to sort of think about that aesthetic. But you also have to think about functionality. How are we going to get this on the page? How big is the picture? Is it going to take up the full width of the screen? If we do that, where are we going to put all the other information? If we make columns, what are we going to put in each column? So there's, what information comes first? What information is second? What's the most important thing? If somebody only sees the first part of the page and they read one section, what are they going to read about you? How's that going to be presented? What's your voice? What words are you going to use? Like, there's a lot of stuff to consider when it comes to the actual creation of content. But right now we're going to do sort of a 50,000 foot view of the content based on a few things that you can see here. One is, what is the ultimate goal of this site? We have a one-page website that we're building, so what is the ultimate goal of this page? And so on a per-page basis, you should be thinking, what is the goal? Like, what do we want to happen with this page? What do we want this page to be doing? Because this is marketing. This is presentation. This is you standing in front of others who are walking by. This is a storefront. This is a lot of things. This is a flyer. This is a postcard. So these are all things that are forward facing. And anytime you have those pieces of collateral or those particular business setups, or marketing setups, you have to think, what do we want to do with this? Why are we spending the money and the time and the effort to make this thing? So our ultimate goal here, my ultimate goal, is to I'm sort of thinking about this on the fly, like how to say this. So my ultimate goal for this website is to build a page that it shows others who I am. Shows others who I am through sharing my personal information. Okay, so that's sort of a generic goal. So this is a personal profile. I want this page to show others who I am through my, sharing my personal information. So it feels generic. A goal should be, at this level, it should be kind of generic, because we're going to fill in the details in just a moment. So the things that I want the user to do, remember that the web is an interactive medium. So they get on the computer, they get on their smartphone, they get on the TV or a tablet or whatever they're using to access that web page, and the user is going to do something. Something is going to be done to them, and they have an opportunity to also do something. So remembering that the web is not a one-way street, that it is an interactive medium, is really important. So what I want the user to do is to read about my personal background, and I want them to see a photo of me, and I want them to be able to contact me. I want them to be able to contact me by email. And I want them to be able to go to my social media profiles. And I think that's all that I'll keep there for now. So what do I want the user to do? Let's give a little space here. I want the user to read about my personal background, to see a photo of me, to contact me by email, and to be able to go to my social media profiles. So those seem like good things to do, and that's consistent with our goal, right? To show others who I am through sharing my personal information. So I'm sharing personal text. This is going to be my personal background via text. This is going to be a photo of me, which is showing me, and then there's a couple of other things that I want the user to be able to do. That's not necessarily just showing others, but actually having them interact with me. Alright, so what content do I need for this? First, I know I'm going to need a photo of me, at least one, and I know I'm going to need a personal bio, maybe 2 to 3 paragraphs. I'm going to need some just personal profile information, name, where do I live, what do I do for a living, that kind of stuff. And I'm going to need an email address for contact, and I'm going to need my social media profile links. Okay, so I'll need to be able to link to something via the social media profiles, which means that I'm also going to need social media icons. So I'll use an icon. I could use text and just say Facebook and then link off to a Facebook page or a Twitter page. But I'm going to use icons because that's just a nice way to sort of get people engaged. And I might have text as well. One thing to remember is that your website might not only be accessed by people from your country. So if you write things only in your language and all I have was text, then maybe someone doesn't know, what the word Twitter or Facebook is because they don't read English. But they do recognize the GitHub symbol. They do recognize the Facebook icon or the Twitter bird, icon. So you have to sort of think about who might stumble across this page, what might they be looking for, and is whatever I put on there sort of contextualized for everybody? Do I not care? If you don't care about other people in the world, you only want people who are English speakers really looking at it and interacting with it. I mean, anyone can look at it, but you only want to connect with people who are English speakers, then you might do that. You might only have links that are connected to text or something like that. So, what else do I need? I think that's all the content that I'm actually going to need. So this is the actual content that we're going to have to make in order to do this. Now, as we can look at how do we need to section out the contents. Remember, we talked in the previous video. If you haven't seen it, click on the link in the playlist and go back to episode 9, where we talked about the different types of sections. So we have different sections for our content, and we do that in order to create page structure so that people can understand what's happening. It helps us to code it better and more easily, and it also allows screen readers or robots who are indexing the page like Google to come and to be able to see what does this section mean, what is going to be in this section. So is this section going to be about me, or is it going to be about cats, or is it going to be a footer? Is it important, like the main content, or is it just a little bit of an aside, which is not the main content, but sort of kind of related to it? Or is it a navigation, or is it the top of the page? Is it the bottom of the page? So it gives the robot a little bit more context for how the website is built and what you're trying to do on that particular page. So our content sections, I think we'll have some sort of a header, and we'll have some sort of inside the header is going to be like maybe a hero. These are all just plans. These it may not turn out that way. And then we're going to have personal profile section. That's going to include the image, and that's going to include the personal bio. Okay, so you see I'm connecting it to me. We can even use the same language, so photo, personal photo, and the personal bio. So that's going to be in a section called, that contains our personal profile. And then I think I want to put a contact section. So that's going to include email, and that's going to include the social media links. Okay, and there may be more things that we wind up putting on here. I'm going to put a footer just to show you sort of a top and a bottom. I'm deciding against a hero. I'm not going to do that. So we're going to keep this sort of basic because we have to do the CSS for this. So I'm going to sort of keep it basic at the beginning, and maybe after that we'll do some more advanced CSS techniques and thinking about hero images or like big stuff. Okay, so we're going to have a header at the top. We're going to have a personal profile section that includes our personal photo and personal bio. We're going to have a contact section that has the personal email for people to contact you, and then also the links off to the social media. And then we're going to have the footer. So those are our main content section. This is actually going to be our, this is a list of our priorities too. So if you had a lot of information that you were trying to put in here, you might need to go through and prioritize your information. So maybe you would do that here with the content. You would prioritize, you know, which of these things. So this is a brainstorm. What's all the content I need? And then maybe in your priorities, you might do it this way, like this. So in your priorities, you would list, you know, which of these is first. You could do a numbered list. You could do a, you could just resort this particular list. For me, let's see, what would be first? Personal profile information is probably first. So let's just do the priorities. Oh, sorry. That's not what I wanted. I just wanted to copy that. I didn't want to cut it. So personal profile information is first. This can be name, where I'm from, what I do. And then another one is my second priority is going to be a personal bio. My third priority is going to be a photo of me. So this is all my personal information. To me, if they don't ever get down to the links, I'm fine with that, because if they're interested in the personal profile information, then they're going to scroll down and see if there's something else. The email address is next priority, and the social media links are the next priority. So my priorities are almost the same. I'm already thinking in code, so it's a little bit unfair for me. I've created pages like this before, so I'm already sort of thinking about how I'm going to make this website, and I already know what's going to go on the page. But I'm trying to go through the process to help you understand, you know, what is the process of thinking about the content on the page. If you wanted to have other photos of you, or you wanted to have a grid of photographs, you know, that talk about what you do, or they show what you do, or they show your family, or you know, whatever you want to do online, and show to other people with this page, that's what you would be able to do in this section. And you can kind of keep this around, or you can do a second draft, you can do a third draft. If you're working with someone else, do something that's shareable. So I'm just using Notepad again, but you could use Google Docs where you could share, or Word online where you could share with other people, and you can both sort of be collaborating on the same document. Let's say it's a family page and not just for you, you know, giving some input. Hey, let's add this, or we should put that on there, that kind of thing. So we have our content sections here, and now we've got a good outline of the page. So we're going to have a header section, a personal profile section, a personal photo, a personal bio, a contact section with the email and social media links, and then a little footer. Now the header and footer might turn out to just be solid lines, bars at the top or the bottom, but we are going to put them in there because once we get around to styling the page, then that's going to help us out a lot. Alright, so this is I think it for this video. So you can see this is sort of the parts of web development and web design, but these are really important parts, because if you don't know where you're going and you don't have any sense of what you're going to do, then it's going to be really difficult to be able to keep your design on track once you start looking at things like layouts and how you want it to be. And we're not going to focus so much on the layout parts as we are on just sort of coding this in the HTML. And then once we start to transition over into CSS, we'll start thinking about aesthetics. But right now I just want to get something and show you how easy it is to put something online just using HTML, and only putting it online so that people can see what you did, and you have the ability after that to be able to type what you want, upload it to the server, and literally in seconds add something new change something, fix a typo. This is the web. The web is very fluid and it's very fast. And so once you sort of get the structure set up, adding new things, subtracting things becomes pretty easy, actually. So that's the power of being able to publish for yourself. And literally, you can have a thought in the morning, and before lunch, it's on the web, and literally can be accessed by everyone who has an internet connection on the globe. So this is really the power of the web and the internet as we know it. And it's a power that hasn't necessarily, we use it every day, but we don't necessarily use it under our own control. We use it under the control of others, like social media especially, or blogging platforms, or whatever it is, maybe at work. But this is something you can do. This is something for you. And there are lots of places to go out there and put it online where you can get a URL and share that URL and anyone can read it. So hopefully that's encouraging to you, and I think after the next video you'll be more encouraged, because you'll start to see how everything comes together with your own information to make an actual website. All right, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments section below. And if you've missed any episodes, click on the link in the description, and that'll take you to the playlist. So you'll be able to see now all 10 episodes that are in the Start With One series. And we're getting pretty close to coding our page. That'll be next. So we're going to take all this information that we just did, and we're going to actually put it into our page. And then we're going to mark it up with HTML, and we're going to, after that, put it online. And I'll show you a couple different ways to do that, maybe one for sure. And it'll be free, and free for you to sign up, and you'll have a URL that's unique to you, and you'll be able to share that with others. Okay, if you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button, and you'll get notifications whenever I post new videos, usually 1 or 2 a week. And with this series, I've been posting a little bit more frequently, so you'll be able to keep up without having to check back every single day to see if I posted a new video. I have other web development videos also, so if you're not a beginner and you're more in the intermediate advanced stage, I've got lots of other videos, more than 150, closing in on 200 videos on my channel. So there's lots of different things to look at and to check out while you're waiting for the next video to come out. And I would definitely appreciate a thumbs up on any of the videos that you like, and a share would be even more amazing, because that really helps my videos to surface and help more people. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll see you again next time.